What's up, guys? I'm trying my best to remain calm. I don't want to scream. I don't want to start, throwing a temper tantrum. I'm trying to understand what's going on with this fucking company because I'm just finding out now that there's not going to be stats for offline career mode. And it just feels like we as NASCAR fans keep getting shafted. We don't get the type of games we want or deserve. And I thought that the days of a NASCAR game with no fucking stats were over. I thought they got the message. I thought it was clear. And it seems that the only stats that this company was really talking about was for online multiplayer. And they bragged about how much deeper and more immersive this career mode offline is going to be. And even though they haven't shown us anything yet or talked about it in depth, I was pretty sure that that meant we were also going to have statistics. And this is the only fucking genre of games that doesn't have fucking stats of some kind. Even games that are not race games or sports games, most of them have some form of stats. You can see how many people you killed, how many people you ran over with a car, everything. How do you develop a fucking video game in today's day and age and not have stats? And Eutechnics started this bullshit back in 2011. I've been screaming about this every fucking year. I've been upset about it. I've been bringing it up over and over. And it feels like it just doesn't, it's falling on deaf ears. I realize I'm really just one guy on the internet, on YouTube. I really have a tiny following of people who watch my videos. I have no influence whatsoever. Okay? Maybe somebody who has a real influence and a larger following, more subscribers, whatever it is, has to help me get this fucking message across, because I'm telling you now, the biggest issue that NASCAR games have had, there's a long list, but the fact that since 2011 we've gotten one NASCAR game after the other with no fucking stats is beyond comprehension. I don't fucking get it. How is it that an entire company of people can continue to develop a fucking sports game and not think, hey, how about fucking stats? Maybe people want to know how many times they've won, how many races they finished top 5, top 10, how many DNFs they have, how many laps led. I'm really fucked up. Right? I thought those days were over. And I want Sean Wilson, whoever it is at 704 Games, you owe people an explanation. You got to explain to us, as your consumer base, why is it that adding statistics to this fucking game is so difficult? Why is it that you guys place no importance on the most basic aspect of a sports game? Who gives a fuck about career mode if you can't track your stats? What's the point of it all? You said this is going to be a deeper, more immersive career mode. You're excited about it. You're giving people a more reason to play longer. Why? Why am I gonna fucking want to play this game if I got no way to track my stats? What is it about that you guys don't get? And here's what we get, okay? The biggest thing I got from this year, according to 704, was how important it was to add that split screen co-op that so many people were asking about. That I never seen anybody ask for that. Now, I'll be the first to admit, I'm not on Twitter or Facebook or any of these other places, so maybe there is a legion of people who've been screaming from the top of their lungs, I want this outdated split screen co-op. I want to be able to sit next to somebody on my couch and play. Like we're back in the early 2000s. That's what I want. Don't worry about stats. I want that. That's the most important thing. This is why I tell everybody, all you guys, you have to be selective about the things you want to complain about and the things you want to ask for in a game. Don't ask for 20 different things. Make sure that the things you do ask for are more important so they get addressed. Otherwise, this is what happens. And they actually think that a feature that I promise you, and I'm going to be generous in saying that 5% of people that play this game are going to use. Nobody's fucking gaming with somebody next to them. We all play with people online through the internet. It's 2017. This split screen co-op shit is just not that important. And I know there's a couple of you who claim you want it, you're going to use it, that's fine. But you need to realize that you represent a very small portion of this NASCAR gaming community. And when we don't get a paint booth, when we don't get stats, fully comprehensive statistical compilation of everything you do, you don't get that, but you get a fucking split screen co-op. And they've been bragging about this since day one. They've been making a huge deal out of it. If you don't have offline career mode stats, this game is fucking dead. Because there's no reason to play career mode past one season. Who gives a fuck? And then you have stats tracking for online, right? Which is great. But if you can only have one, you should have implemented it on offline career mode. You know why? Because online stats are going to be almost meaningless. It's going to be something to brag about because the majority of people race quick sprints, 5% races, 7%. And they're just going to stockpile wins and they're going to quit halfway through a race if they know they can't win. It's going to be a fucking mess, just like online multiplayer always has been and always will be. Yes, they are implementing things to the online that should make it better. And I've talked about those things. I'm not going to get into it right now. But this makes no sense. And I want to know from 704 Games, what the fuck is so hard about adding stats to offline career mode? That you haven't done it. And I'm going back to 2011 Eutechnics because I am damn sure that some of these people from Eutechnics have had a hand in the development of these games. Because lo and behold, is it a coincidence that the first time we ever saw a sports game with no fucking stats came from Eutechnics and these guys decided to continue that fucked up tradition? That's not a coincidence. And I gotta call out Ed Martin. I gotta call him out because he came from Eutechnics, okay? And he's a part of this company. And he was a part of the NASCAR Thunder Series, which had all of these features that we don't get in 2017 anymore. They keep giving us less when we used to get so much more. And I promise you, Where is the sense of accomplishment? Where is the sense of what's the point of a career mode that if you can't track what you do? You're just bouncing from race to race. Are you supposed to write down all your stats on paper like they used to suggest with the Eutechnics people? Because I remember in those forums when I used to get into arguments with people about the same fucking problem, and they used to say, well, just write down your stats on a piece of paper. Because this is the mentality of a lot of people in the gaming community. And it's why we're getting garbage like this. This is a fucking sports game. How do you not have stats? And they don't address this. They haven't said anything about it. It's like, whatever. We're focused on other shit. You're going to get your split screen co-op. Okay? Which, I'm sorry, it's fucking outdated. It is. It's an outdated thing. Everybody has internet now, just about. Okay? And yes, there's a handful of you guys who do want it and are going to use it. But again, you only make up a very small portion of the community. So what's the point of putting all this effort and all these resources to making split screen co-op work if it's not something most people are going to use? When statistics affects everyone. How fun is it to play these past NASCAR games since 2011 with no stats? Was that fun for you? I don't think so. And I've been beating this thing to death since 2011. And you guys who've watched my old videos, you know that I've been the main guy championing this omission. And year after year, not one person none of these developers, not one guy stands up during a fucking meeting and says, hey guys, you think it's fucking weird that we have a NASCAR game, a sports game, and we don't have stats? Nobody ever does that. Nobody ever questions what's going on. I could tell you, man, if I was in charge, heads would fucking roll. This would never happen under my watch. I'm not an expert in making video games, and I don't claim to be. I never did. But don't tell me, okay? Like I've told you guys, I use logic, alright? I'm not fucking stupid. You're not going to tell me. There's nothing you could tell me that explains why a sports game in 2017 doesn't have stats when sports games have had statistics since the beginning of fucking video games. This is not new. This is not innovative. This isn't something that's on another level. Every fucking game has stats, including non-sports games. And I'm telling you now, this will ruin the offline career mode. You can have some fun. You can race. You can go through one season, work your way up. No fucking stats. What is the fucking point of a career mode? What's the point? And I want somebody from 704 Games to explain to me, to explain to everybody why you haven't added stats. Why don't you think it's important? You mean to tell me that all these years have gone by and nobody says maybe we should add stats? Why aren't there stats? Maybe this is one of the reasons these games don't have any sense of accomplishment. There's no replay value in them. I want so much to root for these guys. You guys know that as harsh as I've been with these guys, I've been very positive this year. I've been very complimentary. But I don't want to fucking hear anymore about split screen co-op. I don't give a fuck. And online multiplayer, listen guys, I've always said it, and I think you know what, it can be better. There are things they can do, but it's going to be a fucking mess like always. That's what online multiplayer is. That's what online racing is. This is why there's always going to be a need for offline AI racing, because it's organized. And part of that organization is full stats tracking. You could put stats online all you want, but all that's going to do is it's going to just it's going to be meaningless. You're going to see people with 500 fucking wins because all they do is spend all day doing 5% races, wrecking people, right? Or quitting. Quitting after a couple of laps when they realize that they try to wreck a guy, but they got the worst end of it and they can't win, so they'll just back out of the race. That's what online multiplayer does. That's what it is, okay? That's what online racing is. I don't care how many people say, oh, there's nothing like racing against real people online. Yeah, there's nothing like it because it's a fucking mess. Now, I commend 704 for doing everything they can to try to make it better, and I do like a lot of the things they've added. But it doesn't mean a fucking thing if the offline you can't track what you do. What's the point of it? There's no point. So you could tell me that it's deep and immersive. How deep and immersive is it if you can't keep track of your stats? I don't know what else to say. I don't know. I want to know what you guys think. And I think that this was the number one issue since 2011, going back to your Technics. The lack of stats. I've been killing it with that, and I don't see a lot of people who've talked about it. There are a couple of people, and even people who've taken my lead or suggestion. So, but we need more people to do it. I want you guys, please flood their fucking Twitter, their Facebook, anywhere that they're communicating with people. Flood their the boards with this issue. They have a month left before they release the game. Honestly, I'm not an expert in making games. How fucking difficult is it to implement something that every game has had since the beginning of time? You can add stats online, but you left it out of offline? I want an explanation. And you have a month to make this right. Drop whatever the fuck you're doing. I don't care about anything else right now. You need to make this happen. Because if this game releases and there's no offline career mode stats, we're going to have a problem. Now, you're lucky, and I'm talking to the developers, that I'm just a small dude on YouTube. I don't really have a big following. I don't have any real influence, right? I appreciate those of you who do follow what I have to say, but you know, I can admit it. I'm nobody. So my voice doesn't carry the same way that some huge YouTuber with a lot of followers does, right? Everybody knows who Angry Joe is and all these other big YouTubers. And when they have something to say, developers are more likely to listen. So I communicate with you guys and hope that you pass the baton. And those of you who do have channels and do the same thing I do, but you do it much better than I do, much more eloquently, you guys do a better job. Join me. Push this message forward. This is the most important message right now for this game. They need to address this. All hands need to be on deck, and they need to drop whatever the fuck they're doing. There's no way you can release this fucking game with no stat tracking for offline career mode. So I don't know what they're going to show us. I don't know what's in store. All this stuff they've been bragging about, that, it's much deeper, more immersive, and you didn't add fucking stats. I want fucking answers, man. And I need you guys to help. Flood those message boards. Get in touch with these people and let them know that this is unacceptable. And there is a price to pay for this. I'm telling you now, if this game releases and you don't have fucking stats, I am pretty much fucking done. That's how pissed off I am right now. All the goodwill that you've built with me, with all of these added features and all this stuff, and you got me all excited about this game this year, and now you drop this fucking bombshell. It's almost completely undone. I am beside myself. I don't know what to say, and I'm doing everything I can just to contain myself. Okay? But forward this video to these guys if you can. But on top of that, that's not enough. You guys got to write to these guys as well and let them know. It's not just one guy on YouTube with a small following. That all of you guys fully support what I'm talking about, and you demand that they do something about it, because there's still a month left, and there's no fucking way that I'm gonna believe that they can't implement the fucking stat tracking for offline career mode. And I'm sick and tired of developers. This isn't just directed at 704, but you know, little by little, man, we're losing offline content because these guys are starting to shift more and more of the focus to online multiplayer. And I'm telling you now, that's not a good thing. So I want to be able to enjoy this game offline, and I'm not going to do that with no stats. And I'm damn sure not going to fucking pull out a pen and paper and start keeping track of my fucking stats. I'm not doing that. When every game has stats tracking, and every sports game does it, and it's not a second thought. There's not even the mere thought that, oh, maybe we won't put stats this year. That doesn't happen. You guys are really fucking up. This is, I'm pissed off, man. I don't know what else to say. I want to know what you guys think. And we got to get on these guys ASAP, because there's still a month left to go. And they need to drop what they're doing and fix that. I couldn't care less about co-op split screen. I really don't. I don't give two shits about it. I was okay with it because, hey, it's just another added thing, and I'm all for adding stuff. And anything you can add to the game, whether I use it or not, I'm cool with it. But now, when you're telling me there's no stats tracking for offline career mode, but you make such a big fucking deal out of this split screen co-op that I'm telling you now, most people aren't going to use it. That's all I can say right now. I'm upset. I need to go get some air. What do you guys think? And let's do this, man. Please, go after these guys with both barrels. Let them know you're upset, that this is unacceptable, and it's going to be a fucking problem. If they release this game with no stats tracking for offline career mode, it's game over. I've just about lost all faith. And you guys know that I've been working very hard to be positive and understanding, and giving these guys, a lot of leeway and the benefit of the doubt. But this is just mind-numbing to me that they could do this again. I look forward to your comments, and I gotta take a chill pill and relax. I don't know what to say. I hope they come out with a statement, and they really need to address this. It's unacceptable. They're just going about their fucking business like everything's cool. How do you develop a modern day sports game and have no stats? That's beyond comprehension. And I've been beating this fucking. This might be the number one subject I've been screaming about since I first started doing this. And it's actually one of the reasons I started making these videos. Because like I've told you guys, I don't do this for attention. I don't do this to monetize. I don't make a living doing it. I'm just posting my opinions. And I was inspired to do it because I was so upset. And this was one of the main reasons that got me started doing this. Because I just needed to vent. And I was trying to get something done about it. And here we are, all these years later, since I first did my first Eutechnics video, and we're still with the same fucking problems. And it makes me feel like, you know what, maybe they're not fucking listening to me. They listen to some things, but they're not listening to me. They're listening to you guys or other people that are on Twitter. This is one of the reasons I think they should have a forum. And everyone can join that forum and they can communicate. This fucking Twitter bullshit. I mean, maybe I'm just old school. I don't know. I don't know what to say, man. I'm really upset right now. I want to know what you guys think. And those of you who have a following, bigger channels, help out, join in, Anybody that can send a message to these guys, let them know that nothing else matters right now. They got to address this issue ASAP. They got a month left to go. I want to see what they do about it. I don't want to hear no bullshit either. No bullshit excuses about how hard it is to develop games. And stats is hard. No, stats have been around since the beginning of time in the world of video games. All right, guys. I'll talk to you some point in the future. Right now, I'm really upset. I look forward to your comments.